Hi guys, welcome to my review of Spider-Man 2. I have 100% of the game. It took me about 26 hours. I will briefly be talking about certain aspects of the games I did like and didn't like, and so just going to give you a quick spoiler warning. And yeah, we're going to go straight into the review. So the game starts off really well in my opinion. So the first mission is Miles and Peter are fighting Sandman. It's a great intro and tutorial to get you back into the swing of things. And it's a little bit of an introduction to the wingsuit or spider wingsuit, and this mode of transportation honestly is the best way to get around New York. Obviously the map is 2 times the size as it was in Spider-Man 1, and I believe the same in Spider-Man Miles Morales. With only a few simple upgrades, you will be absolutely flying and getting some really high speeds, going from point A to point B. There is fast travel in the game, and with the PlayStation 5 it is genuinely instant. However, I hardly ever used it except for sort of the late stage of when I was doing side content. The wingsuit is just a brilliant addition into the arsenal of what you can use to get around New York. And of course the main thing is the swinging. They've somehow managed to improve the brilliant swinging from Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. It genuinely feels a lot smoother, and with next gen you can get some higher speeds as well, especially if you start to use your skill points and upgrade traversal. You can really get around New York really fast this time round. For the combat is relatively the same. If you've say played the other Spider-Man games or any of the Arkham games, you're going to fit right in, and you will not have a problem at all getting used to it. To the point where I would recommend trying a high difficulty if you're finding it a bit too easy. The abilities and the gadgets, certain abilities are unlocked throughout the game and they're interchangeable at certain points of the game as well, especially when you start getting into using the symbiote suit. You can move backward and forward between the Iron Spider arms and the symbiote abilities. With the gadgets, they sort of cut down the amount of gadgets that are available to Peter and Miles. However, I think they've gone for more quality rather than quantity, and it really shows. The 4 gadgets that you do get, 5 including the web shooters, but the 4 gadgets you do get are very useful depending on different situations you're in, whether you're fighting symbiotes or hunters or even the Sandmen. Yeah, every gadget has its place and its purpose, and I think they've done a really good job of it. For the story, I really enjoyed the story. I thought it's definitely better than Miles Morales' story, if I'm quite honest. I thought Spider-Man 1 was a little bit too short for me, but I did enjoy that. But this time round, they've absolutely nailed it. It took me about 16 hours.
I don't care who starts this! I'm finishing it!
And genuinely
Will be crimson!
Mentioning the symbiote, Peter gets hold of the symbiote to start using the abilities.
Nothing burned down. Good.
The sort of ultra ability, if you like, where you go into sort of like a rage mode, that essentially just one hits every person you fight. It instantly finishes, puts you in sort of a finishing animation with every person you sort of hit. It is straight out of a movie with a high budget. Honestly, it is some of the best fun you'll have in the game, and they really hit the nail on the head. I think this sort of separates what the Arkham games offer, in my opinion. I would say this game is definitely better than the
Symbiote's
Arkham
attacking them! Clear out! I've got this! What I really like as well is this game really
Venom
symbiotes
at
are
his full power is compared to when he is just the black suit. The fight with Craven is the easiest fight in the game. It's so one-sided, and it's meant to be one-sided. And with the way that fight ended as well, I was pretty shocked. I did not think Insomniac would have the bottle to sort of go that route. And that's sort of the theme throughout the whole game, really, and how they handle Craven. He is quite shocking. He is quite out there, if I'm honest. Really happy with what they did with Craven. My favourite fight of the game was definitely when Miles fights Peter. Just because I think Miles Morales has the best arc in the game overall. You know, he's sort of the sidekick who's sort of meant to do as he's told and mind his own business, but you know, that's not what Spider-Man's about. Spider-Man stands up for what's right, and Miles is exactly that. When Peter gets a symbiote, his personality starts to change, as we all know, and it starts to be like the more negative side of him. But Miles continually stands up for what's right, with helping people and believing in second chances. And there's a point where Peter's about to kill Craven, but Miles stops him, which then leads on to them having the fight. And in my opinion, it's just very much what Spider-Man's about, is just, you know, people having second chances and not killing the villains, even though they may deserve it. For the end fight, when Miles and Peter are fighting Venom, definitely the longest fight in the game, but definitely one of the best in my opinion. I think it's probably second behind the Peter and Miles one. You know, the stakes are incredibly high, very entertaining. Venom is a good villain to fight against, and sort of transitioning between Peter and Miles in the fight to go against Venom, because you're not only fighting Venom, you're essentially fighting Harry and talking to Harry as well, and it's just an entertaining fight all around, and it's the most cinematic fight of the game as well, which was quite good. So for the character arcs, as mentioned, Miles in my opinion definitely has the best in the game. I was a little bit disappointed with how Peter's sort of arc ends in this game, but his arc throughout the game I did quite enjoy. Of, you know, he's sort of meant to be the mentor, but then has to be humbled and then sort of turns it back around. But I just didn't like the fact he's now retiring. Not a fan of that, if I'm quite honest. I am interested to see how they are gonna work that out around Spider-Man 3. But yeah, not a big fan of him just leaving everything for Miles to do at the end. I just don't believe that's very much in Peter's nature. But I'm sure they'll be able to sort something out for the next game. For the side content, the Flame storyline with Wraith, which is an alias of a character's name, but you'll have to find that out. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I can see the ending of it being led into a DLC, and I'm all for it. I think that'd be a really good DLC, especially with the outcome of the first game and what abilities Peter is left with. The Mysterio simulations I quite liked. I think there could have been a few more in there, but there is plenty of replayability. You can go back to them and replay them anytime you like, and so yeah, did quite like them. They were a good addition. The first piece of side content in the game is the Sandman collectibles, which goes into why he sort of had a bit of a panic at the start of the game and started smashing all the way through the city, and it was quite interesting and a good story, and quite a wholesome outcome as well. The Into the Spider-Verse sort of Spider-Bug or Spider-Bot collectibles I wasn't too fond of, if I'm quite honest. I enjoyed collecting them all, however the end cutscene you get for it, I thought they could have done a bit more with it. I don't know, I was expecting maybe to see Miguel, or even if Hobie had turned up, that'd have been cool. I'd have been happy with that. It'd have been a bit more of a nod to the films, especially now that we're not getting the films for probably a while with the writer's strikes going on. But yeah, they could have been a bit better. The drones side content for Craven, where you find out chameleons in the game and how it sort of ends off. I would like to see that pursued on. I think that'd be quite a good DLC. However, not if it was to take priority over the Flame potential DLC. If they could have both in there, I think that'd be quite good. And obviously more content for us if we was to get that DLC. But yeah, that was alright. A disappointing side of the game in my opinion, I would say Black Cat. I expected her to be in the game a bit more. However, the mission she is in is actually quite a good mission, and where the mission takes place is actually quite interesting and quite good, especially if you are a big Marvel fan like myself. You'll come to really appreciate the location of that mission. But yeah, I would have had her in the game a little bit more, and it'll be interesting to see if she comes back. So guys, that completes my 100% progress review of the game. It's just been a quick little video about my thoughts on the game and what were good and what disappointed me. However, I think this is easily a contender for Game of the Year. I think Insomniac did an incredible job, especially with the step up from Spider-Man 1 and even the step up from the Miles Morales game. As I say, this took me 26 hours to 100%, and it was worth it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go get some fresh air because I've not had any, because I've still been playing this game non-stop. So as I said, thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best.